What is Belizean Fry Jack? It's basically a fried bread that's usually made with flour, baking powder, and water. Some people do put fat on the inside, but I don't, and I switch out the water for milk. So let's get right into how we make this delicious breakfast bread.
You're watching the Pantry show.
I'm only going to be making a small amount of the Fry Jack, guys, or the fry cake. So I'm using 1 cup of all-purpose flour. To this, I'm adding 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. If you want your fry cake or your Fry Jack to be less fluffy, only add 1 teaspoon. If you want it more fluffy, add the extra half a teaspoon. This is all we need. We don't need any salt because the butter that I'm going to use on top of the bread is going to be salty, okay? Well, it's salted. So I'm adding some milk, lactose-free milk. You can make this with water, and we had this debate in many of my videos in the past. But honestly, it comes out stiffer. Not crunchy, but stiffer. And I don't like it like that. When you put milk, it's almost a little bit sweet too because the milk has sugar in it, right? So just add the milk accordingly, 3 to 4 ounces, thereabouts. See how slowly I'm adding the milk because I don't want to overwet the dough. And if you mess up and you overwet the dough, don't panic. Just go ahead and add a little bit more flour, okay? But I'd rather not do that. So look at my beautiful placemat. My son Joshua gave this to me as a Mother's Day gift, and I absolutely love it. It has all the rings on it to show you the different size circles you can make with your dough, right? So I'm trying to get the dough off my fingers. And if that bugs you, go ahead and stop and wash your hands off, dry them, and then come back to the dough. You're going to find that a lot easier to handle dough. I'm going around the mat because I'm trying to get all the droplets of milk. And this is just basic kneading. Nothing special. I'm just rolling the dough back and forth on the mat. So don't let kneading bother you, okay? Don't let it frighten you. I'm going to cut it into 3 equal pieces, and I'm just eyeballing. So I'm squeezing them in my hands to see which ones feel bigger. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to add it to this one that feels a little bit smaller. And the first thing we want to do is go ahead and roll them into balls. So I'm making a dome on the one side and then pinching the bottom. Adding some flour as needed. Pinch the bottom, roll it, and then set it aside. These don't need to raise, they don't need to rest, but they are resting while I'm working on the other one, if you get my drift. So now we're going to go ahead and roll the first one into a circle or a disc. Let me grab my rolling pin. Do you guys know that the ants was taking this drawer that has the rolling pin? I think they're tasting whatever's left in the wood. Okay, so just roll it. Do the best you can. I'm not really great at making it into a perfect circle, even though I have the template in front of me. But I don't let it get to me, okay? So let me go ahead and roll the other one. So you see how I rolled it into one circle and I cut it just in half? That's considered 1 serving, okay? So on this one, I'm putting slits. On the first one, I didn't put any slits. The slits is gonna make the fried jack be less poofy when you fry it because that's the way I personally like it. Let me go ahead and fix this one that's breaking. On this one, we're gonna roll it out into a circle and then we're gonna cut it into 4. It's still considered 1 serving if you have the 4 pieces, okay? But we do it like this because some people prefer just to have 2 pieces. Discover the exotic flavors of Belize with the ultimate Belizean cookbook, the Belizean cookbook you need. Indulge your taste buds in a culinary journey through the heart of Central America. From succulent oxtails and rich, thick, creamy coconut milk stews to sizzling conch fritters and panades, this cookbook is a treasure trove of authentic Belizean recipes. Learn the secrets of Belizean cuisine passed down through generations, beautifully captured in this comprehensive guide. Impress your family and friends with unforgettable meals inspired by the rich cultural tapestry of Belize. Pick up a copy today at Amazon.com under my author's name, Barbara McNabb Greenidge. You like this dynamic angle that I'm doing? I moved the camera, guys. Now let's cut it into 4. And then set them aside while we move over to the stove. Light the cast iron skillet and heat up the oil. To test the oil, just put like a chopstick in there, and if you see bubbles, then the oil is ready. This one's a little bit poofy. Your first one is not going to be too poofy because the oil is still coming up to temp, all right? So Joy is doing the one with the 4 pieces first. And remember, these ones didn't have any slits in them, so they're poofing up rather nicely. And you kind of have to hold it in the oil like this without crushing it, because if you don't and it poofs up pretty big, you're going to have some fried jack with some white edges, all right? Okay, so let's remove these 2 from the oil, and you see we have 2 over there already that didn't poof up too big. So he's putting some butter on it, and the butter is salted, so it's going to be real good, guys. So these are the 2 that has the slits in them. So these are not going to poof up. I prefer my fried jack like this, a little bit more dense and not poofy, because I want to put stuff on top, and I don't really like to stuff it. But if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how to stuff one of these 2 that Joe's going to fry right now. So these 2 are going to poof up really, really big because the oil is hot and they don't have any slits. Look at this one, has some humps. All right, time to flip them. And hold them with the tongues, but don't crush them, okay? We don't want to pop them. See, I'm showing you exactly how it's done, because a lot of the times I'll go to different places and I don't know what they're doing with the fried jack, but it's not these. Now, we don't put any fat inside of our fried jack because it makes it heavy. All right, but other Belizeans do. They'll put butter or shortening or something like that. We just don't. We like them light and airy like these. And I'm trying to put them on this platter to go take the picture while they're still hot. And Joe's like, hurry up because I need to eat them while they're warm. And as I'm doing it, Joe says, don't do it that way. Put the poofy ones on the top because you know those Belizeans are going to drag you. And so I switched it back out and I put the non-poofy ones on the bottom. And then the 2 big ones, and I'll put the 4 small ones like around the side. I'm going to run outside where the sunshine is beautiful in the front of the house and snap those pictures really fast so that we can eat these things while they're still warm. These heat up pretty nicely too in the air fryer, by the way. Microwave, they get kind of stiff, but the air fryer, perfect. Ooh, look at this. Look at the color. Joe's making egg over easy for me, 1 egg. And this is what my uncle's wife used to do, put powdered sugar. So I want to show you that there's another option. This is so good like this too, guys. I love it. Look, see my breakfast? And see how it's hollow on the inside. That's why people like it poofy. And I'm going to stuff my whole egg in there. Look, it popped. The yolk popped. It's draining. Let's look at this picture again, guys. Gorgeous!
This is the Pantry show.